Get set, go.
In the last couple of videos, we built our 555
F was down,
timer,
the
which
displacement
this
D
oscillating
was
clock
also
pulse.
down,
we
and
built
so we know exactly what this becomes. It
555
becomes
timer circuit, which
mg
gives
for
us
our
a
force,
debounced, push button switch.
D
So we can push
going
this,
down
nice
for the
clean
displacement.
debounced, logic
The
output
angle
here.
between
And
those
we built our,
is 0 degrees, cosine of 0
bistable,
degrees is
circuit
1,
here, which also
and
gives
so
us
we
a
get
nice,
a
work
work
stable
of
output
m
for
times
our
g
toggle switch.
times d.
Now what we
Okay,
need to
where
do is
d is some positive number. This is the work that gravity did. It is a number that is positive. It's greater than 0 because the force and the displacement are in the same direction.
Sorry, Ben.
All right, but how do we put that in terms of y? This variable y that we said is the height above the Earth. Well, if I look at d, I can see that that is actually going to be the negative.
So this is where I'm leaving off the problem as far as where I'm at.
Right?
I'm gonna try to do
is down here. That's going
what
to be a
I gotta
small
do.
number.
There's really numbers between this and the
is
Higgs
up there. That's
collider.
gonna be a big
Like
number.
they're gonna be me.
So that delta
this is
y
Higgs.
would be a negative
This
number.
is you and me.
So I have to add
and
another
sometimes
negative
I'm not
sign
so good with
right
the
there.
electrical.
But that negative sign can come out in front, and we can write
And I'm
it
not very good with it.
minus
Actually, this is where I'm at. I don't
delta
have a
y,
breadboard. I'm
where
using
that
theirs.
y, that
And
delta y
to do this
is
diagram correctly,
y
1,
final
2,
minus y
correctly,
initial,
with x and y, this becomes some logic gate,
and that
right? I don't know if I still
should
have
be
it.
clear
No, I
why
don't
we
got
had
it,
to
but
put that negative sign there, because this stuff in parentheses here,
this is
that's
a lot of
going to
Ben
be a
Eater's
negative
work
number.
and some other stuff like this
Right?
where
Y
you
final
see a
is
clip,
smaller than y
and then you
initial.
get into
So that will
the
be a negative number. We have to add
battery
another
doing
negative
things,
to make sure
stabling
it's a
it out,
positive number.
needing diodes
But now we can work
but I
that
never
negative
needed them
right on through.
except for the LED, right?
Mg
And then I need a
y initial
transistor
minus
and maybe a
y
capacitor,
final.
well, a
And that
resistor,
is still
wires,
a number
battery.
that is positive, which is good.
batteries, wires,
Okay.
light bulb,
is the
and some
work
things that do that. Need maybe
Due to gravity.
what we're doing here.
Now, let's do the analogy between this gravitational problem and an electric field problem.
In a set, 96. In this set,
So,
the mean. In
let's
other sets,
ask the following question before we do that.
probability
Let's say I have
inside of
a
here,
whole
a
bunch
potential
of
might
charge
be or exclusive,
that is
or
sitting here
exclusively and
on this
exclusively,
plate.
strictly greater than
And now
A,
I take another
right,
plate
or B, or
I
however
put it
you
right
get
here.
the droid to do whatever it is that it does.
and I give it a whole bunch of negative charge.
You get that bunny bouncing around on this farm.
In the region in between those two,
As Army do.
is there an electric field? What do you guys think? Is there an electric field in there?
This is string theory.
Yes.
And
Why?
so
Because
between these two
electric
plates, a
fields
rabbit will travel.
leave
Right?
positive charges
That bunny rabbit, he's going to
and
want to
end
skitter
up on
right
negative
through
charges.
there, and that's
so
the
there has to
logic.
be some sort of field.
And there's a basic set to the
that is
slide
pointing
rule on certain
direction.
things of S1 not
Okay.
being equal to S2.
It's everywhere inside, but
in
we're just going to draw one for simplicity.
Alice and Bob's field trip to
If I
playing the
put
bookstore
a
Putin
particle in
over
there,
at the Bunny Farm
let's
to
say
get
I
to
put
the
a positive
Dakota hole,
charge,
in which gives you a
right
figure
there.
4 to catch the alpha bunny.
is that positive charge going to feel a force on it? Absolutely.
No, this tool
Right?
shed
We know
right
what it's
here
going to do.
works like
Positive
these
charges
in
are repelled
set
by positive charges and are
about
attractive to negative charges.
what's going on inside
Positive
of here.
charges
Except for this little
follow
dot.
lines
I'll
of
give
heat.
you that later.
And so there's going to be a force
And
on this
this
positive
force
charge,
over the
F,
geometry
which is equal
is
to
a
Q.
Peregrine theory of my
times E.
methodology, his methodology,
positive charge,
anybody
it
playing
goes
for
with
the
the field.
square pyramid and
If
the
it's a
optics
negative
of the
charge,
open
it goes
cylinder
opposite
running
the
at
field.
the cookie
Okay.
factory. 3.14.
But that
That's how many
positive
chocolate chips you
charge
need.
that heads down in that direction, we can say, oh, that just moved a distance, d. And let's use the same picture that we just had with gravity. Let's say that we're going to measure y
6 inches. Or
going up from the bottom. This is like our surface of the Earth.
and causal limit of
And now we started
has
up here
limits.
at y initial. We end
They like
down
to share
there
atoms.
at y final.
well,
Positive
it's
charge
Diana, this
going to
Mary.
move
Yeah,
downward.
yeah, we're not
And let's
particular here.
calculate the work
If you can do the electron dance, you're
done
And this is
by
the
this electric
Credo,
field E.
or general order.
Before, the work
commands.
was done by the gravitational field, but now
In the
it's
way,
going to be due to this
what
electric
you're
field
doing
E.
breaks this down in
All
such a
right,
way that
we
all
can
the
do that.
logics have values where you
We've
stick the
got
multimeter.
work
And
equals F.
in that field,
D
gravity down.
cosine
Like we
theta.
need, yeah.
In this
so,
case, the
anyways,
force is just Q times E.
the qubits.
The distance is D.
I would like to be an electrical
The
engineer.
theta
Oh, fantastic!
is
You're gonna
again
have to move a few of these
0
bricks
degrees.
around
Electric field
for
is
the Pharaoh.
down,
Now,
charge moves down.
this seems like
everything's
pretty
in the
good.
same
It
direction.
doesn't seem like
So the angle
necessarily
between
the
them
Pharaoh
is
on the
0,
optics
and
of what's
cosine of
traveling
0
down the
is, of
pipes
course,
about the bunny or
1.
anything else that might be an action at a
All
spooky
right,
distance
so we
in the
get
river.
the work is just equal to QE times D. It looks very similar to what we had before, right? In gravity, we had work was equal to mg times D.
Now,
So
it is
everything that we just
AN
did, we can take advantage
and
of
Y.
and write this out as
Or
the following.
Sometimes it's written into the equation.
QED
The trip,
is
TRIP.
what? Well, that is a positive number.
But you'll know by virtue of boldness
Q is a
and
positive number.
figuring stuff
E,
out that what I want
D
you to do
are
here
in
is
the
the
same
PI,
direction. These are magnitudes
or
in this
PRT
equation, and so this
relative
is a
to this,
positive number,
not the
just like we had with the
VR,
gravity.
IR,
right.
or the V
But we know what D
or
is.
I.
Just like we had before, it's going to be negative delta Y.
VR,
Because
VR,
YF is going to be smaller
right,
than
yes,
Y
good.
initial.
Very good.
So this is minus
And
QE
Without this equation,
delta Y.
this equation doesn't make so much more sense. But you
or
can skip it.
minus
You
QE
can make a short
times
inside
Y
here. Y
final minus
on a
Y
field trip
initial.
with n number of students, Y or
That
Mal.
number's smaller than 1.
Who knows? Maybe
I'm
Dave's
that number is smaller than
$25,000
YI, so that thing is
bank
negative.
loan at
The negative
8%
sign out
inside
front
of the
makes
year.
sure that
The year.
this
I
is
didn't give
still
you
a
that,
positive
but
number, so
you know,
we're
we
happy.
gave you a K, a 1 over
now,
K,
again, we can
1,
distribute
you know, a 1 over, what is that there?
The negative sign.
Kn
And
equal
write it
1,
as
and 1 is not good,
QEY
but this is what
initial
actually happens.
minus Q
This kinetic right to the knee.
final.
And that's
All
a fun
right,
way to do it.
let's rewrite some of that over here. We've got
So we're going to want to
W
rewrite the
equals-
logic. Now, there's
must
a
multiply
bunch of
this out.
math
We've got
equations
Q,
that do
E,
what we just
Y
did here
initial
while making this
minus
math problem
Q,
very
E,
comprehensive
Y
and very complete.
And
NP
now let's
to
pull out the Q's
how
from both of those
the charges work,
and write it
how
like
the
this.
fields
Q
work,
times E, Y initial
what the invert
minus
of the bunnies in
E,
their
Y
classrooms'
final.
ears look like.
And
You
at
gotta
this
know.
point, we're going to
Gotta
make
know.
the key